What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? It's me, your big partner, man, Cartoon One. I'm back again, man. I'm back again. It's story time. Yes, story time. Well, yeah, I don't know story. Man, call it what you want. But anyway, man, this is about a situation in prison, man. First off, before we even go into it, man, do your big partner a favor. Hit that like button. For those that's low riding on me, when I say low riding, for those that are listening and are not subscribed, could you please do me a favor? Hit that subscription button, man. For some reason, I done, it done started out. I done got right to the brink of 50,000, and it seemed like the subscribers just stopped all of a sudden. What's that about? What I need, I think, 85 more or something like that? Man, y'all help your big partner, man, hit that 50,000 mark, man. I need it. Okay, but anyway, on to different things. OG, baby. That's another thing. You know, I don't use that title. Man, people have taken the term OG and watered it down so bad that I don't even say it no more. I mean, I never really used it. I never used it. Am I an OG? I don't know. For me, the term OG, if you weren't there when your set was made, when your set first came about, then you ain't no OG to me. You know what I'm saying? You could be a big homie. You know what I'm saying? A real big homie and all this and that. But I guess that's why they say, well, you got OG, double OG, triple OG. I don't use the term OG, period. Man, I'm big cartoon. That's it. You know what I'm saying? For those out there in TV land, I had a loss. I lost my little homeboy yesterday. My homie Young Trey, better known as Lil Cartoon. I lost the homie. So it's a shout out to my little homeboy, AIP. AIP, homie. Avalon and Peace. Rest well. You know what I'm saying? Now, anyway, on to the story. Man, this was in a prison, in a max security prison, some years ago in St. Clair. Everybody know about St. Clair prison, man. In there, doing my thing, doing my time. You know what I'm saying? Just really kicking it. Just boom. So I got a small pet peeve. I've always had this pet peeve. I've never really liked bullies. Never really liked bullies. It just was a thing to me, you know. Once I peeped them, you know what I'm saying, I always used to set my sights on him like, you know what I'm saying, I'm finna get directly at him because he go for bad and I know he ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? He go for bad and I know he's not bad. But I watch these people long enough, they always, see, any people that pick and choose their battles, I ain't never had no respect for them. You will go get at him and him because you know they small or they scary or whatever. But now when this gator over here, this T-Rex, this Velociraptor over here, you won't go near him. Why? Because you know he finna rip the flesh off your bones and your scary butt don't want their problems. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when I used to see dudes in prison with the rob game. You know what I'm saying? They in Alabama prison system, they rob each other a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? If you got some and dudes want it, it ain't like California prison. Like I say, the prison in Alabama is 85% black. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, dudes, it's all type of shenanigans jumping off. Dudes will run in your cell, rob you, take your stuff, do all this and that. Even with the robbery. Was I involved in it? Yes. At one time, I was involved with the rob game. You know what I'm saying? Hey, my lower self kind of came out here. But anyway, my thing was I would see dudes, they'd rob this dude, and this dude, but now they wouldn't rob this dude and this dude. Why? Because this dude and this dude were some real go-getters. That ain't never been me, homie. If I'm robbing 1, 2, and 3, I'm gonna rob 4, 5, and 6 too. It didn't make me no difference. If I'm robbing, I'm robbing. You feel me? So, even like, I remember some time sitting in the cell where, me and a couple of my compadres, like, man, let's check this out, homie. Man, let's go, you know what I'm saying? Let's go do this and this. I'm like, where at? Over here on such and such. I'm like, shoot, cuz, why we going way over there when this fool right here got such and such? So, I had a little partner. I ain't gonna mention his name. He was Crip. He was from Nasty Boys. That's Nasty Boys are a version of the 60 Crips in Alabama. But they, you know what I'm saying, they little set hood name, they call themselves Nasty Boy Crips. Anyway, you know what I'm saying, I had a lot of partners that was Nasty Boys. So anyway, we sitting in the cell, and I say, cuz, man, this fool right here. Oh man, I say, hold up. Let me tell you something about me, homie. If we can rob 1 and 2, cuz, we can go over here and rob 3 and 4 too. I'm not studying that mess. I don't care, homie. I'm not finna skip over them because they tough. I feel we tough. Me and too, you know what I'm saying? So let's do it. Now, of course, you know what I'm saying, a lot of time people was looking at the fact that, well, if you rob 1 and 2, you could probably go ahead and get it and get on and don't have to worry about the repercussions. But now if robbing 3 and 4, you might pull a robbery, but you knew for a fact it's going to be some repercussions. It's going to be some consequences and some comeback. Man, my thing is, hey, man, let the games begin, homie. It's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But anyway, like I say, that was just, I didn't have no picks and chooses. I ain't had no picks and chooses, homie. What I was going to do to one, I was going to do to the other, homie. It's just simple as that. It was some times where I would see dudes just get into stuff, and a lot of times I try to mind my business and not get into it and not, stick my paws in what they had going on. But this here is a time I stuck my paws in somebody else's business. Like I say, the blacks in Alabama prison system are dominant. Then you have the whites. When I first came to the Alabama prison system, they didn't have no other races in there. And I ain't never seen no Asian, none of that. When I first came, I didn't see no Mexicans, none of that. Black and white. Before I paroled, the Mexicans started coming in, trickling in little by little by little. But when back in the 90s, when I first came in, didn't see nothing but black and white. And the whites are vastly outnumbered, and they ain't got no win. I ain't gonna even lie. The mentality in the Alabama prison system is, if you white, he gay. That's just the overall mentality. Of course, I knew a whole lot of white dudes in the Alabama prison system that weren't gay. And I knew some white dudes in the Alabama prison system that was some stoned down killers. I spoke about a couple of them in some of my past videos. Was not to be played with. I spoke on the one time I said, speaking on my homeboy, my nasty boy partner, when we was going to rob a white dude. And I'm going to say his name because people over the system, they know him. White dude named Pat Crow, man. Pat Crow wasn't nothing to play with. Either you was going to kill him or he was going to kill you. A show enough go-getter, wasn't scared of nothing, period, under the sun. This white boy was the truth, was the B-I-S-N-I-S. But like I say, I didn't have no picks and choose when it came to what I was going to do. Me and my homeboy was going to rob him. Remember I told you, I said, it was 2 little disciple dudes that beat us to the punch. At the same time, we left out the kitchen. They was 2 in front of us, and me and the homie, we didn't know what they was going to do. They went up there and ran up in the cell on them with them knives, and it turned into a 4-man knife fight up in there. Boy, it looked like a scene from 300. So me and the homie stopped and looked like, dang, cuz, look at that. So I looked at my partner. I'm like, whoo, boy, right, look at that. Boy, that could have been us right there. You know what I'm saying? That could have been us, boy. Had to go round for round, pound for pound. Get out for your grits and gravies and your raviolis too. Anyway, back to this story, man. It was 2 white dudes in the block that I lived in at this time. I'm gonna say their names. One name was Mike, and I ain't gonna say Mike last name, but one name was Mike, little short, curly head dude, and the other one name was tall, goofy face dude named Jimmy Click. They used to call him Grip. So if you know anybody that been in St. Clair, they know Grip, they know Jimmy Click, they know Grip. Now Jimmy Click, man, was, his family had money, man. He wasn't gay. Neither one of them was gay. None of that. They didn't mess with nobody, man. They were two nerds, two goofball nerds, man. Jimmy Click was a taller, heavyset white dude. Wouldn't hurt a feather off a bird's tail. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna fight, not gonna do nothing. He was into the word. He stayed in the church. He was a chapel worker. Didn't bother nobody, period, whatsoever. Man, was respectful. You know what I'm saying? Give you the coat off his back if he had it. Didn't want no problems. So, I would see him. I would talk to him every now and then because they were into some of the stuff that I was into on the low. Remember, I told you I'm a nerd. I was a nerd growing up for real, behind the scenes. I liked it, that Dungeons and Dragons stuff and fantasy books. They were into it too. Anyway, so I would just talk to him about a little bit, but at this time, I'm caught up in so many other shenanigans that, we never really got off into it real deep. So anyway, one day, some young brothers, man, wanted to rob him, wanted to beat him up and rob him. Like I say, Jimmy, Grip call store every week. He give you anything. And they went in the cell to rob him. And I knew what the demo was because they pulled the door up when they went in. I can't lie, y'all. It rubbed me the wrong way, man. It did. It rubbed me the wrong way. And you know what I'm saying? I just couldn't see it go like that, man. Just because of those two. You know what I'm saying? They were just, no, I just couldn't, man. So I ended up going up the stairs and, pulling the door. When I pulled the door open, dudes had the knife on them. Like, man, at the time, Grip was in the process of putting everything he owned into his laundry bag to get to these two dudes that was finna rob him. So when I stepped in the cell, so I'm like, cuz, what's up, man? They like, man, oh, man, what's up, Toon? What's up? I'm like, look, homie, do me a favor. Do me a favor. See, so I try to be respectful with everything. And I said, man, do me a favor. Do me a favor. I said, let this go right here. They like, what? I said, man, let this situation right here go, man. Don't rob him. So, I'm talking to him with respect and all that, but now I had already made up in the back of my mind that y'all weren't going to rob him. You know what I'm saying? If it was going to have to go down, it was going to have to go down. But I already made up in my mind, you're not going to rob him, but I was hoping that I could talk to you with enough respect to where it wouldn't have to spill over into us getting into it and getting into a whole nother situation on the yard. So they're like, hey, man, Toon, come on, man. What, man, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So I did the diplomatic move. I say, look, I reached over. I got 2 bags of coffee out the bag, gave them to one dude. I got 2 bags of coffee, gave it to the other dude. I said, homie, look, hey, y'all do me a favor, man. Take that right there, homie, and just let this situation go. Please. They knew that I was not going to let them rob them. And they knew that I was trying to be respectful so that they can save face and I can save face. You know what I'm saying? Nobody feel like they was punked. I don't feel like I've been punked. They don't feel like they being punked. Unless, cool, please. They took that route out. Cool. That was the route they took, and I was cool with it. They just, man, Toon, look here, hey, homie. Man, we're going to do this for you, big dog, man, because we know you cool, man. Well, I was like, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. So they left, boom. So from that point on, me and Grip, we got real cool. We got real cool. So with me getting cool with Grip, I end up getting cool with Mike too. And I would end up talking to him all the time, man. And I've never said that I had friends in prison. I always said I didn't have friends on the street. The word friend to me is on a level bar none and par none. You know what I'm saying? But over the period of years, Grip became a friend, man. He became a friend, man. it would take a long time for me to just tell you all the ups and downs that we went through. Man, I just sit there and listen to this dude, man. You know, he had life without. He's never going home. You know what I'm saying? And he told me his case. You know what I'm saying? He was on psych meds too. You know, he had to take medicine just to be cool. You know, just harmless. You know, just nothing but a big fuzzy caterpillar. And so with me getting cool with him, I end up getting cool with Mike. And so from that, we start talking about it and getting off more into the fantasy stuff that we all were into. You know what I'm saying? They tell me about books they read. I'm telling them about books I read. We end up developing games. We got into the game development thing to where we sat down, we wrote it out, and we had a game. We had a role playing game that was a fantasy game, like Dungeons and Dragons. We had another role playing game that was based off in space. And we had another role-playing game that was based off into the Wild Wild West. And the games were good. Once we went about developing them and getting them out there and drawing up the boards, we would take toilet paper. I'd show them how to wet it and let it dry and shape and mold. We had pieces. We painted them. We had dice. We had the whole hookup for role-playing games, man. And we would have a lot of dudes in the block, you know, playing the role-playing game. A lot of dudes liked it, and they was like, dang, this is cool. So we even moved further into our endeavorments of writing a book. So we used to get, Mike used to get the Omni magazines. And one day in the Omni magazine, it had not a contest, but was it a contest? I ain't gonna say it was a contest, but it was a thing about writing short stories. And you could write either a short, but it's a short novel, not short story. Yeah, short stories. You could write a short story, or you have what's called a novella and a novelette. Now, instead of writing a whole book, you can write a small book called a novella, or you can write a smaller book called a novelette, or you can write a little small book called a short story. And so we say, okay, well, we put our heads together, and we start writing. Man, we put it together, and it was a book about a dark elf. I know a lot of y'all don't know what dark elves are and all that. I don't expect for you to, but it was about some dark elves, and if I can remember, the book was called The Obsidian Citadel. For those who don't know what obsidian is a real dark glass-like material that's really, really, really hard. But it's real dark. It's black, but it's glass-like. And it was called the Obsidian Citadel. For those who really don't know what a citadel is, it's like a mosque, not a mosque, but it's like a castle up in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? And that was the name of the Obsidian Citadel. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? We did that. And I was just cool with them, man. They was cool, you know what I'm saying? If I needed something, they would look out for me and all this and that. And it was cool. It went to the point where, man, I remember, I never forget one day, man. I was deep in debt. Remember I told you I had a bad poker habit. And I was super duper deep in debt to the point to where I couldn't pay the debt. Really didn't want to pay the debt. It was several $100s worth of stuff off the canteen. And I was coming through what they call the G yard. I walked through the gate, and Grip was standing on the porch. He had moved over into the faith-based honor dorm. And I was coming through the gate, and man, I'm just thinking about it. What I'm contemplating is, you know, hey man, it's finna go down. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna stab these dudes up, or they gonna stab me, or however it's gonna go. But I'd already made my mind, man, I'm not paying them because I can't pay them. I don't have the money. And at the time, I didn't have nobody, you know what I'm saying, in my life to really look out for me at that time. You know what I'm saying? I had good times and bad times, high times and low times while I was doing my time. So anyway, Grip seen me, and he was like, Toon, what's up? So I went over there to talk to him, and he could tell from my face that it was some problems, that, man, something was wrong. And I broke it down to him. I told him, he like, man, boom, boom. I said, homie, I said, I don't know how it's going to go, but if I don't see you again, remember, man, we cool. We right here, man. We going to always be cool, man. Just always keep me in mind. So he like, man, Tune, you gonna be all right, man. Don't worry about it. I said, I know. But so I just walked off. Man, I'm like in my mind, I said, yeah, I know I'm gonna be all right, because not finna let nobody hurt me. Period. No, you are not finna hurt Miss Mignon's son. Miss Mignon's son gonna hurt you first, point blank. So anyway, I'm contemplating when to strike, how to strike, where to strike, how this is gonna go. 2 days passed by. 2 days passed by. And I was coming, the gym was letting out, and I was coming from the gym, going through the G yard. When I'm coming through, it was store day for my block. And I'm knowing this is the day that the drama was gonna jump, because I didn't catch store. I didn't catch store, and it is what it is. The dudes who I was finna get into it lived in my block. So anyway, when I'm coming through the gate again, Grip is out on the porch again, and he see me like, Tune, hey, let me holler at you, man. Let me holler at you. I'm like, I go over there. I'm like, man, what's up, Jimmy? What's up, Grip? He like, man, how you doing, man? I'm like, man, I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. He said, you sure? He said, man, your face look down. I'm like, man, don't worry about it, homie. I'm doing all right. You know what I'm saying? I never let him see him sweat. That was my thing. I don't let people see me sweat. He was like, whatever happened with that situation with your poker deck? I'm like, man, I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it. He said, all right, I believe you. He said, but hold on. So it's a big door right here. You could pull this door open and go into a long sally port where you can go left. You had 2 blocks on this side. You can go right, and you had 2 blocks on this side. So when he pulled the big door open, I'm standing there. I'm like, man, Grip tripping, man. Grip crazy as a Bessie bug. He pulled the door open, but he didn't go all the way, and he leaned down. And he pulled out a big brown bag. We used to get ourselves a big brown bag of canteen items. And he's sitting them down. He set 5 big bags down. 5 big bags of canteen items down on the ground. And I'm looking at him like, man, what the heck is he? He said, Tune, that's yours. I said, what? He said, that's yours. He said, man, please, Tune, do me one favor. He said, you my friend, man. He said, I know you my friend. He said, because I know if the shoe was on the other foot, you would do it for me. He said, man, take that back to your block, man. And whatever debts you owe, man, pay your debts. Whatever else you have left, man, that's you. Man, I looked at him. I said, man, Grip, you tripping, man. He said, no, please, man. He said, I love you. Please do that for me. I don't want to see you in trouble. I don't want to see you hurt nobody. And I don't want to see nobody hurt you, man. Man, I looked at him. Boy, look here. I said, Grip, I said, you serious, huh? He said, yeah, Tune, I don't play like that. Man, get it and go. I said, thank you, man. Thank you. I had 2, 3 little dudes was walking. I knew them. I said, hey, come here. So they came out. I said, man, y'all help me grab these bags, man. Take them over here to the block. So they're like, all right, Big Tune, you know what I'm saying? Boom, they grabbing bags. You know what I'm saying? I gave Grip a hug, man, and dapped him up. Man, I said, man, thank you, man. I said, man, I'm going to return this favor one day like that. He said, man, you done returned it 1,000 times, man. I said, all right, Grip. Man, I picked that last bag up, man, and I was going to my block. And I was glad I turned and was walking to my block, because I didn't want him to see the tears come out my eyes. For what he had did for me. You know what I'm saying? What he had did for me touched me. It touched me that much. I didn't want to see it, man. So needless to say, man, I got back to my block, paid my debts, man. I had at least a whole bag of stuff left over for me, man. I had plans on taking the bag back to him that was left over, but I'm knowing he wasn't going to take it, man. He was going to tell me, no, Tune, that's yours, man. Tune, that's yours. Man, that touched me to my soul, man. You know what I'm saying? Here it is all these years later, man. Grip probably, we probably still in St. Clair, man. I wish him the best, man. Shout out to Jimmy Click, man. Shout out to Grip, man. Me and him was cool, man. You know, I ended up getting shipped from that prison years later, but I was in that prison 3 times, and all 3 times, man, me and him was super cool. So a shout out to you, Grip, man. My partner and my friend. Peace. I represent the gangsters, man. If you like the story, man, hit that like button for me, man, and hit that subscribe. I'm out.